Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Super Bahr Bros Adventures, and today we're going to be showing you how we prepare for a tournament that we have coming up here.
Yeah, so we're out here at Mille Lacs Lake in Isle, Minnesota, and we're just going to take you through kind of what we like to do while practicing for a tournament. The tournament is tomorrow, so we're going to head out and try to figure some stuff out, see what we can do.
So one of the biggest things about tournament preparation is just having everything you need, and also organizing the mess that may build up inside your boat now. Like right now, you can tell the rod locker is a bit of a mess, but it's an organized mess. We have all of our rods, and that's the big thing about heading to a lake, is you need every little piece of tackle that you own, because you don't know what the fish are going to be biting, you don't know what you're going to be fishing exactly. Like what I mean by that is what depth, if you're going to be fishing rocks, cabbage, coontail, you know, up in the slop. Out here on Mille Lacs Lake, we have a pretty good idea. We'll be fishing a lot of rocks, so we've prepared that way. We brought a lot of spinning rods and a lot of light casting rods for smallmouth, which is, this lake is known for that. Also though, with that, having all your stuff, organizing the stuff for the way the lake fishes. So having all of your smallmouth stuff up front, ready to roll, and pushing your largemouth stuff towards the back. Because there are largemouth here, you never know if you're going to be targeting them, but it's always nice to have everything with you so you know, okay, if in an emergency, I have this with me.
All right, so another thing with pre-fishing for a tournament is before you get in the lake, just look at the map. That's what we like to do. You know, the night before we go out, we'll just sit and just look at the map and say, oh, this hump looks good right here, or this point looks good. We just like to look at the map and see, just have an idea of what we're looking at and what we feel comfortable fishing, or what we feel like has fish on it. So that's just one thing, is just study the map. This is a Lake Master chip, and we spend hours on this thing, not even fishing, but just looking for structure like this right here, just to see where the fish are at. So once we do all that, the rest of the preparation is just out on the water, trying to figure it out.
So one of the most important things that we do to get ready for a tournament is we do a lot of pre-fishing. We'll spend 3 or 4 days on a lake just looking for fish. And what this does is when you pull up to a spot, you know, okay, I know there's big fish here, and I know there's little fish off this point. So it really just helps you find the tournament ready fish, and also eliminates a lot of water that you could be fishing in a tournament if you didn't go out a few days beforehand and actually fish those areas. One of the things we do though is we try to catch as little fish as we can pre-fishing. What I mean by that is we don't try to hook every fish that we see. We hook one, it's like, okay, we know there's big ones here, move on to the next spot. You don't want to pin all the fish in that school, because when you pull into the tournament, they could all be lockjawed and have sore lips the next morning.
So we're fishing for smallmouth out here, so we're fishing really light gear. I'm using a 610 medium light St. Croix rods, and what I'm using is a drop shot with the 6-pound leader. You gotta be really careful with that 6-pound, as the line is so light. So I have my drakes loose. That's the one thing I really like about a drop shot, is that the bait is off the bottom, so I don't have to worry about the line where the hook is dragging on the bottom. If I lose my weight during a fish, oh well, it's not gonna cost me to fish. And I'm just fishing as slow as I can.
So today the fish seem to be everywhere, and I'm just switching rods. I started with no rods on the deck, maybe 3 or 4, and then now I've got almost every rod out of the locker on the deck. So they're just doing everything right now. A lot of the baits that we seem to be using today are just drop shots. And right now for my setup with this drop shot is a 610 medium light extra fast St. Croix Legend Extreme. I'm a big person on, you know, you don't need a very expensive rod for when you're fishing, but on a presentation like this, it is crucial to be able to feel every little tink that you can.
That's a wrap for this episode. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, Outdoor News Junior Pro Team, And follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll see you in the next episode of Super Bahr Bros Adventures.